Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How are we? Well, it is Tuesday. It's Tuesday the 26th of August. Hope you've all had a wonderful bank holiday weekend. That's it. The bank holiday weekends are done for 2025. There's 2 bank holidays left. Christmas Day and Boxing Day for 2025. That's it. Then we're out. But that isn't a weekend. Not this year, anyway. I don't know when Christmas falls this year. I think it's Thursday. I think it's a Thursday, Friday this year. So you kind of got a longer weekend because it just falls just before. Anyway, that doesn't matter, does it? If you didn't see me, I did jump on yesterday. I don't normally do a live on a bank holiday. I don't take bank holiday Monday. Oh, it's bank holiday. I would take bank holiday Mondays off. But if you didn't see me yesterday, hope you've all had a good bank holiday weekend. I was on yesterday for an hour. Anyway, there we go. I'm on the official holiday countdown. That this week, I'm just so ready to slip into holiday mode. A week today is my birthday, so we are going away on Friday night for a few days, and I will be back a week on Thursday. So, but yes, try not to slip into holiday mode too early. Can be a bit dangerous. Try not to slip into holiday mode with calories. Try not to slip into holiday mode with work. Keep an eye. I was up this morning. If you checked in, had an even check-in this weekend, your progress sheet is with you. Done all those this morning. I've written 2 plans this morning. I've got a few sign-ups this week. Why have I got a few sign-ups this week? Because it is your last chance to get my summer deals. Tomorrow night, they're ending. They are done. Half price sign-up, full 12 months, one-to-one weight loss for 260 quid. Half price, that's a 15 quid sign-up for my one-to-one plan if you want to pay monthly. Done. That is gone tomorrow evening. So if you want to take advantage of it, a few people have done over the last couple of days. Get at it. I will get you started on plan a week today. Not a week today. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. A week yesterday. So Monday. Next start date plan is Monday. Then there's no start dates until the middle of September because I am having a little break. I'm having some time off. Right, let's do the top 5 on TikTok. This one, if you do want to sign up to plan, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, anyone, you got to get to my link tree. Click on my link tree. And my link tree is a shop. In my shop, it says monthly one-to-one plan, yearly one-to-one plan. Click on the monthly one-to-one plan, read the details. The discount code is there. I'll click on the yearly one-to-one plan, read the details. The discount code is in there. Go get signed up and we will get you started on Monday. Let's do the top 5. Faye's in at number 1. Lou's in at number 2. Callum will still be in bed. Anna's in at number 3. Callum was on it last week. He was number 1 every day. Mr. John Jackson's in at number 4. And Debs is in at number 5. Callum's going to pop up in a minute. I'm not in bed. I'm here. I'm just a little bit late on the one. Gemma's in. Good morning. Dodzy, morning. Mama Bear, Helen. Kelly C. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Morning, mate. Did you eat that Mayflower meal you bought? I did. I thought it was all right, actually. I can't remember what I did review it. I did review it on I did like a farm food kind of special thing. It was decent, I think. I can't remember. I think it was all right. I can't remember. Honestly, can't remember. Paul, good morning. Donna, good morning. I'm back on it this morning, starting the day with a protein shake, apple, and my jam. Lovely, Donna. What a great way to start the day. Jackie, good morning. James, morning. Now just need to plan this week's eating and get the food shop. Fail to plan, plan to fail. That is what I always say. Tricky one for us this week because we're just going away Friday. We're trying to run the fridge down a little bit. Trying not to buy food in, eat what's in the fridge, eat what's in the freezer. Does that make it trickier to plan? It does a little bit, because I always shop quite off the cuff, if that makes sense. We don't really do like big shops anymore. And that sort of changed, like working from home. We don't quite need to be as organized as if you like we worked a 9 to 5 and we were, you know, in an office 9 to 5. Rachel works 9 to 5 in an office, but I work from home and I work for myself, so I've got my own flexibility. So, and you know me, I like nipping into Aldi here, there, and everywhere. And I think again, because I post a lot of content around recipes and food and new foods and stuff like that. I like going into Aldi every couple. Someone said the Sundays are back in Aldi. They're not in my Aldi yet. I'm going to go and have a look today. But yeah, this week is a little bit all over the place. We've got my mum coming around for tea tomorrow night. We're going to have fish and chips again. She came around 2 weeks ago. We had fish and chips. It was nice and easy. Basically, I just get a regular fish. We get one large chips between me, Rach, and my mum. So that is less than a regular chips by the time I split them up. I'll get a regular fish and I'll get a large peas. And I track it's about 1,000 calories. It's a couple hundred calories more than I would normally have. But it's all right. And as long as I know I'm having 1,000 calories for my tea, I can adjust the rest of the day. So tomorrow, will I eat breakfast? I don't know, actually. It depends if we go training or not. We're talking about going to the gym like early in the morning. If I don't go to the gym early in the morning, I'll do a live 8:30 to 9:30. Then I'll go to the gym. By the time I get home from the gym, it's lunchtime, which is great because I'll have a 600-700 calorie dinner, 1,000 calorie tea. That's 1,700 calories. I won't be done for the day. I will have some of the bits and pieces. Anyway, but yeah, planning for me is a little bit trickier this week. And then Saturday and then Friday, I'm not tracking. I'm out. I'm only tracking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I did track yesterday. I banked 58 calories yesterday. But again, being a bank holiday, I did sort of send the live estate. I'm going to have a bit more food freedom. And we did. And I banked 58 calories yesterday. My mission this week now is 2,100 a day. Today, tomorrow, Thursday, right? Which would be me banking 1,600 calories the weekend. I'm going to be in a maintenance, probably surplus week at the end of this week. A little bit the same next week, which is fine. Weight loss break. I'm talking about it today on the Weight Loss Coaching Live at 10 a.m. Whenever I go away, I always use it as an excuse for a little refresh. But I've not done a Weight Loss Break Live for a bit. And I have to remember there's always brand new people coming into the community, coming into the group. So, yes, it's my 3-year bossversary. I like that. On Friday, I can't make the live Friday, so I'm saying now, Faye, not a problem at all. Happy anniversary for Friday. Yes, Faye's worked with me. And she's, have you done your 10 stone with me yet? I think Faye has, or she's a smidge away. I think Faye's lost over 10 stone, but she's a smidge away from losing 10 stone with me on plan. Amazing. Yeah, Friday's live is 8:30 this week, and it's just going to be for 45 minutes. I'm kind of a bit pushed for time on Friday. It is Manic Check-In Day Friday, which is just what you want on the day you're going on holiday. It's absolutely fine. I've got a plan in mind for sorting check-ins out Friday. I do check-ins week in, week out, whether I'm on holiday or not. The only time I never do any check-ins, so my only full 2 weeks off of a year is Christmas week. And this year we won't be doing any check-ins on Friday because it's Christmas Day. And the week after, we won't be doing any check-ins on Friday because I think it's New Year's Day. I think that's how it runs this year. I think Christmas Day is a Friday this year. So those are my only 2 weeks where I don't do any check-ins for 2 weeks. So I'll do check-ins, I think, the 19th of December. And then my first lot of check-ins back, I might end up with 3 weeks off this year. I haven't quite decided yet because I think a lot of people are going to get back at it on the 4th. So I might do everyone's first check-in back. Like the 12th, and then everyone's first official check-in back will be the 19th. So I might even end up with 3 weeks off this year from doing check-ins. We'll see how it falls. Anyway, other than that, I do check-ins. So I'm away Friday, but I'm going to work. We are leaving the house at 12:30. We'll leave the house at 12:30 p.m. So my mission is to try and get everyone's check-ins done by 12 p.m. that have come in. All right, that is my mission. So 12:30 p.m. when I get in the car to drive to we're not driving to the airport. We're actually going to the traffic centre for a couple of hours and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to send a message out today, guys, about if it's check-ins this week, if it's your check-ins this week. Anyway, happy anniversary. But yes, we will still be doing live. So the plan for Friday is get in the office for 6 a.m. Check-in 6 a.m. till 8:30 a.m. So I've got 2.5 hours. A lot of check-ins coming from about 5 o'clock. The busiest time for check-ins is 6 till 8, really, is when the majority of check-ins come in. So I was going to sit there, check in. Then I'm going to do a live 8:30 till 9:15, right? And then at 9:15, so I'm just doing a 45-minute live on Friday. 9:15, I'm going to finish my live, doing a little bits and pieces. Leave the house at 9:30. Very regimented. Get to the gym for 10 to 10. Right? We're going to train till 25 to 11. Then we're going to head home. So we should be home for about 11 o'clock. That is the plan. Right? So we should be home for about 11 o'clock. That is the plan. And then I'm going to finish off doing any bits and pieces, casing the car, sort all those out, have a shower, get changed, get ready to go to the airport. And then I'm going to come back in here 11:30 till 12:30 and work right up to leaving. That is my plan for Friday. But I'm also going to put out a message. If you do want to check in on Thursday this week, I wouldn't mind at all. Which will ease a lot of fun. You don't have to. I know a lot of people like to be in that routine of, no, it's Friday's check-in day every 2 weeks, Friday, and I get that. That's 100% fine. But if you was like, oh, do you know what? I could check in Thursday this week because I've got work early Friday. It's like, get your check-ins over Thursday. That's absolutely fine. My cut-off this week is 12 p.m. Friday. So if you check in after 12 p.m. Friday, and it's very rare I mess with check-ins and stuff like that, and I'll still do. If you check in after 12 p.m. Friday, there is a chance that I may do your check-in when I get home on Thursday. I get home Friday, Wednesday, but it'll be the following Thursday when I get stuck into them. So if everyone can get check-ins in before 12 p.m. Any check-ins that come in before 12 p.m. Friday, I'm going to do a little bit of work in the airport if I need to. And I will do a little bit Saturday morning as well, to be honest with you. When we wake up in Benidorm, that's all good. But then after that, I'm totally signing off. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. That is my week's plan. Good morning, Hanson. Take me on holiday with you. Get a flight booked. John, my mate, actually is in Benidorm at the moment. They fly home Wednesday, and he was messaging me yesterday. We might stay on. He said, I'm not back in work till Tuesday. So he said, we're coming home today. We're meant to be coming on Wednesday. He said, but anyway, they're looking. But it's the flights coming home. They are ridiculous. Right? I'm gutted I didn't book for a week, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not gutted because we got to Tenerife in a month, right? So we weren't even meant to be having this holiday. We've only booked it because we got delayed on our holiday in June, and TUI sent us we got over £1,000 back in compensation from June holiday. So it's basically paid for this holiday. But now I've booked it. I'm back Wednesday. I'm like, should have gone for a week. Should have gone Friday to Friday. And do you know what? If we had gone Friday to Friday, it would have saved us 200 quid because our flight going on Friday night cost us 25 quid. That doesn't include cases. I did add a case on that. But the flight itself was £25, right? That was it going. The flight coming home on Wednesday is 200 quid. Just for the flight home on Wednesday is £200. It's because everyone's next week's getting back for the kids going back to school. If we come back Friday, which I assume everyone's like, kids are back at school now, we could have got a flight home Friday for £100. But I'd have saved 200 quid on flights. But then we'd have needed another 2 nights in a hotel and more spending money. So it wouldn't have actually worked out any cheaper. But still, we would have got a better value on the flight. But yeah, it's the flights coming home. They're ridiculous at the moment. It's just holiday, kids' summer holidays. But that's coming to an end, isn't it? That is coming to an end. The kids' summer holidays. There is light at the end of the tunnel. If you found it tricky over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, next week, if you're north of the border of me, the kids are already back at school, I think. And I'm positive some of my clients have said the kids are going back this week. But this time next week, everyone will be, I think my nephew goes back next Tuesday, my niece goes back next Wednesday. So maybe not quite this time. This time next week, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The kids are going back to school. And you can all get back into your regular routine, ready for Christmas. And that is why we're doing the Boss Your Weight Loss Challenge. That starts in 2 weeks. That starts in 2 weeks on, nearly 3 weeks. 2 weeks on Monday. The Boss Your Weight Loss Challenge is started. 24 of you lovely people have signed up so far. Though someone messaged me yesterday if there were a link. So I have sent them a link, but they've not paid yet. So that will be 25. So if you want to join, that's my mission tomorrow. I'm going to put some work in. Today I'm plan writing, progress sheeting, they're all done. Plan writing, a few other bits and pieces. Might try and record a podcast today, though I don't think that's going to happen. And then tomorrow I am dedicating to the challenge. I'm going to get all the challenge bits. Well, I'm going to get it all kind of set up, all the templates, everything all set up for everyone. Whether I start writing challenges this week, I don't know. I might do that next week or the week. I've got a full week after we get back from holiday before the challenge actually starts. So, but yeah, if you want to sign to the challenge, get signed up now. And yeah. Hello, on my way to the airport. Oh, Lynn's on her way to the airport. Lynn, there's a very good chance I will see you on Saturday. So I am not stalking Lynn, and Lynn is not stalking me. Lynn is one of my one-to-one clients. And Lynn is going to Benidorm today. And I'm going on Friday. And it just so happens me and Lynn are staying in the same hotel. So, and I don't think it's not a big hotel at all. I've never stayed in this hotel. I've walked past it many a time. I've walked past it many a time as a building site. It's been an absolute building site for 10 years, where it's just been a derelict building. And then post-COVID, they've spent fortunes on Benidorm post-COVID. If you've not been to Benidorm since COVID, they've absolutely spent a fortune on it. Anyway, post-COVID, post-COVID, they've, spent loads on Benidorm. And this hotel opened, I think, at the end of either early 20, I think opened early 2024, so it's pretty new hotel. But yes, me and Lynn are in the same hotel. So I think, because it's not a very big hotel, there is an extremely good chance, Lynn, that we might just bump into each other and say hello. Gemma, I need to get a new tape measure to do my measurements. The one I thought I had is nowhere to be seen. Gemma, not a problem at all. Amazon's your best friend for that. Amazon is your best friend. It'll be here tomorrow. But yeah, just measurements. A lot of people get wrapped up in measurements. Here's what I'll tell you about. I'll tell you why we do measurements on the one-to-one plan. I'll tell you why we measure where we measure on the one-to-one plan. And I'll tell you how you need to look at your measurements. So number one, why do we do measurements? Measurements are a good way of seeing progress. They are, right? Because it's a good way of showing how your body is changing. You might have a bit of body dysmorphia. And I always talk about taking photos. But, at the end of the day, if you take measurements, and over the course of a year, you've lost 100 centimeters from the areas where we measure, that shows how much your body is reduced in sort of mass. Now, I get my clients to measure 5 areas. That's the only areas you really need to measure. You could measure chest, and that is probably a little bit more beneficial for females than males because breasts hold quite a bit of body fat. But I try and keep things not complicated, as least complicated as possible. Unlike the way I've just said that sentence, because I've probably said it in the most complicated way possible. But I try and keep things as simple as possible. Right? So I get my clients to measure around the middle of each bicep, right? So just around this bit here, middle of each thigh. So hip, knee, get in the middle. Elbow, shoulder, try and get in the middle. And then our waist. And you can measure you don't even need to measure your waist. Just measure around your belly button, right? Why do I get my clients to measure those 5 areas? Because they are areas that can hold a decent amount of fat, right? Arms, and they're areas where we want to change a lot of the time, but they are areas where they hold a decent amount of fat. So we hold fat everywhere. We hold fat in our bum, right? We hold fat in our calves, our ankles will have a bit of fat. Our face has a bit of fat. You can measure your forehead if you wanted to, right? As you can see, I've got a rather large amount of loose skin on my face from weight loss, right? But these areas are easy to measure. I know a lot of people struggle, but I can show you with, right? This is a charging cable, right? But basically, right? This is how you measure around your arm. There you go, done. That's it. It's so easy. I know a lot of people struggle with it, but literally just do that, right? You don't even need, even if you've got a Stanley, just measure like that, right? Get it. That's it. That's my arm measured. And you can hold it like that, and just measure that bit there. That is my arm measurement, right? And then say just one-handed. You don't even need 2 hands because you can't use 2 hands because you're on there. Just go around the middle of your bicep, get your measurement there, pinch. There you go. That's the length of my bicep. Thighs are really easy. I recommend doing it stood up, but you can do it sat down. Just try and be consistent. Right? So I'm sat on my chair here. I could use this. So where my thigh ends on my chair, I just measure it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the length of my thigh. Is the size of my thigh. And just measure it. Right? So where I ask my clients to measure is they're just 5 easy places to measure. I think people make it more complicated than they need to, and you really, really don't. If you want it, I'm not going to do it with this because I haven't got any string, right? Again, an easy way to measure your arm is, I don't want to break my thing, but basically, I'll show you very, very quickly. If you tie a loop in a piece of string like that, right, you can then create a loop like that, and you can just put that through your arm there. Nice one, Neil. I don't think I put the right loop. I don't think I pulled the right thing. Right? It's a bit short, this, to be honest with you. But anyway, it is just a bit short. But if you tie like a little loop in a piece of string, and there you go. And you can just do that. All right? And there you go. That's my arm measured. Now, I don't recommend doing it and then take it off. Just keep that pinch. That's all you need to do. Just keep that pinch. And then you just need to measure from there to there. Right, that's not obviously doing it with a charging cable, definitely isn't it? But with a piece of string, you can do it. Right, so I ask my clients to measure those areas. Great way of tracking progress. Measurements can answer some questions as well. So when you check in with me, right, you measure. Let's say you check in with me and you've gained a pound. But your waist has gone up 3 centimeters. Your waist won't go up 3 centimeters if you've gained a pound of body fat, because fat comes on all over the body. So if you've gained 3 centimeters on your waist and you've gained a pound, you're bloated. Straight away, we know it's water retention. So measurements can answer quite a lot of questions as well. Good way of tracking progress. Now, measurements can take time. So I ask my clients to measure every check-in because it's just good habit building. But really, we only should be looking at measurements once every couple of months. But if you do send your measurements each check-in, it answers loads of questions if needed. Yeah, if needed. Charles Journey, good morning. I'm going to go back to sending measurements now. I've got my head back around this. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I don't force my clients to anything, right? If they don't send over the information I ask for, I'm not like, where's your measurements? Where's your steps, right? They send over what they want, right? Now, and I'm not calling clients here because I do have clients that have smashed their weight loss journey that just send their weight in. But there is a trend. The clients that are fully invested, that send every week measurements, steps, weight, any exercise, give me a little rundown at the end. They treat their check-in like a proper, I do get clients that just 16 stone, bang, that's it. I don't get any other information. I just get a log of weight, right? And if that's what they want, that's absolutely fine. I'm not here to be like, now don't get me wrong. If a client does that and 3-4 weeks in a row, or 3 or 4 check-ins in a row, they're not getting any results. I'm kind of like, well, if this is how you're treating your check-in, how are you actually treating the journey? How are you actually approaching? If this is how you're approaching the basic information I need sending over to me, how are you actually approaching? Are you treating is this how you're approaching your calories? Half-hearted. And it can be like that. And like I say, but do I get clients that just send me the weight in, week out, nothing else, and they're doing well? Yeah, but they are few and far between. And the clients that send over, and like I say, I'm not your dad. I'm not here to force you to do things that you don't want to do. That sounds a bit weird. It wasn't meant to, but I'm not here to tell you off. Yeah, I don't mean force you to do things that you don't want to do, but I'm not here to tell you off. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to be your helping hand. I can only guide people so much, So, and like I say, the clients that send all the bits and pieces of information consistently. I'm not saying clients need to send me, but generally, like the 2 most important bits of information is movement and weight. Send me those bits and pieces. Give me a little bit of rundown. Some people send the screenshots over, but there is a trend. When people are spending and it only takes a couple of minutes, right? When people are spending more than 10 seconds to send a check-in, they're spending a minute or 2 to sort their check-ins out. I'm like, you're dedicated. That's giving you Like, like Pete's put there, I'm going to go back to sending measurements. Now I've got my head back into the game. Pete doesn't send measurements, but what Pete does do is he sends a rundown every check-in, gives a little thing of how things are going, how he's feeling. That's a lot of information for me to take on as a coach. It gives me something to work with. So, but the more information, I always say this, the more information you send me as a coach, right, then the more help I can give you, I laugh out loud. My thighs the same size as someone's waist. Always had huge thunder thighs regardless of weight. Gemma, I'm exactly the same. I've always had, even though now I've always had big arms, always had big thighs, I always did well with my calves. Even at 37 stone, don't get me wrong, I had fat calves and I've got loose skin on my calves, but I'm over 500 pounds, and I see a lot of people, clients that have PT'd, a lot of people suffer really bad, and it's down to poor circulation. And up until the last few years of my weight loss journey, I actually didn't have a bad level of movement. I didn't exercise or anything like that, but I always had a pretty decent level of movement, and that massively helps. I can always tell overweight people that are quite sedentary because you tend to have a lot of fluid buildup in your calves, right? And when you have a lot of fluid buildup in calves, you are then susceptible to things like lymphedema and stuff like that, or lipedema. Not lipedema is where you get fat stores in your limbs and it's hard to metabolize. Lymphedema is when you get you get fluids building up in your lymph nodes in your cells, right? And a lack of circulation. It's also pressure. But I was always very, very lucky with that. Like my calves now, don't get me wrong, I've got loose skin on them, but I've had clients that lose a lot of weight, and you can still tell from their calves they've got a lot of reddening of the skin, a lot of hardness of the skin. They still carry some fluids in their calves, because and that is a sign of being very sedentary on and having weight issues. I hold a lot of weight in my legs, drives me crazy. A lot of people do, and it can just be down to circumstance. But yeah, I've always, we can't spot target fat loss, and it comes on in different areas. I was always, well, do you know what? I say I was always quite lucky. I always thought I didn't hold much weight in my face until I look back at old pictures now, and I'm like, no, Neil, you actually did. But I was fat everywhere. I had a lot of fat everywhere. I had quite an even distribution. I had a lot in my back, a lot in my tummy, a lot in my bum, a lot in my arms. Some people can have quite skinny legs, quite skinny arms, but hold a lot. Very common. Again, although fat comes on where it comes on and comes off where it comes off, hormones and sex just play a part in where we store body fat. Quite common for a lot of females not to store a lot of body fat from here upwards, but can have quite big bums, hips, and thighs. I grew up very obese, which suppressed my testosterone and increased my estrogen. So my female sex hormone, as I was growing up, was a lot higher than it should have been. I didn't have a problem with puberty. I hit puberty fine, like 14, something like that. But my testosterone levels were definitely suppressed for a lot of years. And even now, when I have my bloods done, my estrogen levels are always elevated compared to what they should be for a man. Now, obviously, I don't have a major issue with that, and my testosterone levels are very, very good. Otherwise, I always say this story. I could never grow a beard before I lost weight, right? I would have facial hair, but a cat would lick it off. There were gaps everywhere. And I'm not saying I've got the best beard now, but I could never grow a beard. There'd be just gaps everywhere. Could get a bit of a thing. My tash would be rubbish. Nothing to join up here. And a year into my weight loss journey, I never had any body hair. Like never had a hairy chest. I don't really have a very hairy chest. I'm not a very hairy person, really, but I have got some chest hair now. So it's quite weird, really. But from my estrogen levels being high, I always stored a lot of fat in my hips, my bum, and my back, and I still do now. It's a very prominent area for fat storage for me, Mine aren't back until Friday the 5th. Oh, you've got 2 weeks. You've got less than 2 weeks. And there's still light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you that there is. I even put a pretty background on my check-ins. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and like I say, I'm not here to. I don't want anyone. If you are someone with your check-ins that you just send minimal information over, that is absolutely fine. And to be honest with you, if you're doing, I get why people fall in. You know, if I'm doing well on my thing, you know, and some people don't need any help. Some people don't. Some people, I have clients that come on plan that just tick over, that just get, and like I say, I do have clients that send minimal information on checking over, but they are consistently losing. So I'm like, well, you're following your plan. Do you need to give me any more information? No. Like I say, if I get clients that are struggling, I will push them a little bit. I'm like, right, you know, let's get some movement over. Let's get some measurements over. Let's start taking this a bit more seriously. And if we start taking, because like I say, we can see patterns. I can as a coach. I've done this for a long time now, you know. I've done this for a long time now. And like I say, I will push the odd person if they're not giving me what I need, if I feel it will help them. But like I say, I do get some people that, oh, you know. Like Michelle was there, that would be me, laugh out loud. Yeah, Michelle doesn't send me loads of information. She used to. Recently, she hasn't. But Michelle's doing great. She's absolutely consistently losing. So, in a way, you know, clients don't actually need me when they're doing well. Right? And you might be like, well, why do they pay you? Because at times they won't be doing well. Me and Michelle have worked together for a long time. She has peaks and troughs. At the moment, she's having a peak and she's doing really, really well with the weight loss journey. And I hope she never has another trough. But if she ever does, I'm always there for her when it happens. So, you know, when clients check in with me and everything's going hunky dory and they're losing and everything's good, check in's a minute, you know, brilliant, well done, great check in, 6 losses in a row. I might sort of say things like, maybe it's time for a weight loss break, you've lost 8 in a row, or, you know, I think your losses are a bit quick. Maybe we need to look at eating a few more calories, or your losses are a bit slow. So you're consistently in a deficit, but you feel like I've got a mark, so it's doing my head in. It's always fluff. You know, your losses are a little bit slow. We just need, you know, you're consistently in a calorie deficit, but you're currently eating more like 2,300 calories than the 2,000 I've set. So maybe just tighten up a little bit if you want your losses to improve. If you don't, if you're happy, crack on. Everything's all good. I absolutely hate my double chin plate face. I never used to have an issue with much weight on my face, but since I reached my 30s, a lot of fat is storing on my face, and I detest it. I think age does play a part in where fat is stored as well. I think it does, you know. Gemma, don't worry, we'll sort that out. You're on plan. You started your 2 days in. We will get you there. If I these lives. I never want anyone to think I'm being personal, to, you know, targeting them. I'm not, you know. It's just the way it is, you know. I'll always talk honestly, you know. It is just the way it is. You know, when I say about people that just send weight in, I've got a client who only sends their weight in, and they have done from the start. They have sent me nothing but their weight. 16.12. 16.12, right? And I'm telling you now, we've worked together since June 2024. So they have been on plan with me 14 months, right? They've never sent me anything other than their weight, and they never sent steps in. They've never sent measurements in. I'm looking at their progress sheet now. Steps, nothing, just weight. That is it. And they checked in on Friday. And as of Friday, they're 104 pounds down. They're over 7 stone down, right? And they've never sent me anything. They've just stuck to plan, 104 pounds down in 14 months. In 14 months, right? So I'm not saying you have to, right? And I've never really had to coach this client. They've stuck to plan. They've been very accountable. They send their check-in every 2 weeks. They send their weight in every 2 weeks, never miss, right? And they're just on it. And they've lost the weight. But if they've just had peaks for 14 months, right? But again, if they ever hit a trough, that's what I'm here for. Neil, what are your thoughts on 360 Me measuring app? It scans your body. Probably a load of nonsense. I have no idea. I've never heard of it. Never looked at it. But if it's doing it just from a picture or something like that, it'll be a load of nonsense. I'm about 4 weeks to my holiday, so I've got a goal in mind. Then my holiday is my break. Lovely. Yes, I'm doing weight loss breaks today. Hows and whys of weight loss breaks. So I'm doing whys and hows of weight loss breaks. So I'm doing why we have weight loss breaks, right? Because a lot of people think we have a weight loss break, or we need to have a weight loss break to trick the body back into weight loss and all this. So I'm going to talk about why we have weight loss breaks, and then how we have them, how we approach them, how we should take them, you know. Right, let me scan up, see what I'm missing. I've been much more consistent measuring since doing it once per month. It is worth doing. Yeah, so absolutely. So there's certain things where, you know, with measurements, you know, if you do it week in, week out, it's about building habits. But, you know, if you want to send me your measurements once every 6 weeks, once every 4 weeks, once every 6 weeks, every second check-in, every third check-in, you know, if it's a check-in that falls towards the end of the month, you know, just a little trigger like that, it all helps. It's all good data. And your progress sheets, you know, in fact, I've done this with FaZe, and I'm going to do this with every... Guys, if you've worked with me for over a year, you'll have a second progress sheet. So a progress sheet, progress tracking 2, progress tracking 3. I'm kind of scrapping that. I'm going to create, like, I'm just going to move everything onto one sheet, because I think it's 2025. Why I moved on to separate progress sheets, because I used to print out the odd progress sheet and have a look at it. And if you have more than 25 on with the graphs, it just ends up so small. Does anyone actually print out their progress sheets? The odd person will, right? But most people, it's sent as a digital PDF. They can just look at it on their phone, look at it on their iPad, and they can expand it up. So it doesn't matter how small the data is. If it's just fitted onto one sheet, you can expand it out and make a difference. So I'm going to kind of move everything onto one sheet. Faye was the first person I did it with. So Faye's up to progress tracking 4. And I am keeping going with Faye's progress tracking 4. But I have created like an overall progress tracking where we have got like every check-in. So Faye's checked in 76 times with me. And I've created, and why I've done that is because I can create a graph, right, that has every bit of data on it. So every, like, your weight progress from the day you started on plan with me to today. So rather than the graphs being split up, and this is the progress tracking sheet, 1, 2, 3, everything is together. So I will, over time, it'll take me a while. If you're on progress tracking 2, progress tracking 3, I will eventually amalgamate them all together, so you can see from the start of your journey with me to today where we've got to. And FaZe is amazing. It's amazing. Faye might not want me to show anyone her starting weight, which you will see, so I'm not going to show it. But her progress sheet, and what it does show with FaZe is, it shows like there's no smooth trajectory. She started off here, she's ended up here, she's lower. But you can see all these bumps along the way where there's been some gains, where there's been some losses, where there's been some maintains, right? And it just shows how a weight loss journey isn't a smooth weight loss journey. Right, Faye's given me permission. I always ask that permission, right? Because I think it's really, really important. And this is Faye. I'm sorry, you guys, Facebook, YouTube, you can't see it. And I can't zoom out. But this is Faye's weight loss progress from start to finish. So she's had 76 or 77 check-ins, right? This is where she started, right? And look at this. You know, she started here. She was just under 400 pounds. She's now under 280 pounds, right? Well under 280 pounds. And this is just with me. Faye had lost weight before we even started. But this is why I always say there's no such thing as a perfect weight loss journey. Every little bump, all these here, gains, all these little bumps up are gains. Some of these flat lines are maintains. Look at that gain there, right? These are all gains on the journey. Everyone gets pissed off when they've done 3 losses, 4 losses. I've had a gain this week. It's part of the journey, right? Look at all these. But she started here. She's finished here, and none of these bumps have affected her. She's just accepted it. And these could be just because she's having a tough time and things haven't gone right. This could just be after a holiday. But this is how a weight loss graph should look. You know, that is how a weight loss graph should look. If you want one of them, you simply need to come on plan with me. Guys, Facebook, YouTube, I can't show it yet. I'm sorry, I can't show it yet. I can't. Actually, I probably could. I could get it up. I will show you an example of that next time on live because I could do it on my iPad and hold it here. It never. I mean, you just get my ring light that reflects in the screen, and then you get this is what I see, as you can see there. And I need to clean my iPad screen. I get that, but I could probably show you on my iPad. I'll show you another time. But if you want a progress sheet like Faye has there, with all that tracking, that's from Faye doing the check-ins. Get signed up. You've got till tomorrow night. Half price monthly sign up, or a full 12 months one-to-one weight loss coaching for 260 quid, one-off payment. You've got less than you've got like 36 hours to take advantage. It finishes tomorrow night, midnight. Faye's done amazing. She really, really has. Absolutely fantastic. I'm loving all the love in the comments, Faye, because she's absolutely a superstar. I love what you sent me that. It was so good to see. Yeah, so I am going to, any one of you guys, I've got a lot of you guys that have been with me over a year. You've got Progress Tracking 2, Progress Tracking 3. Over the, when it won't be done this week, but when I see a check-in, and it's for, I start copying and pasting, and eventually I'll have all your progresses back on one sheet. Now, like I say, I might keep Progress Tracking 1, 2, 3, 4 going, and then have a sheet that just updates, because I'll be able to link them actually, where if I update your Progress Tracking 4, which just shows 25 check-ins, and Progress Tracking 5, 25 check-ins, I get it to update like, overall journey progress tracking, I'm probably going to call it. Yeah, does that make sense? If it would help anyone, you're welcome to show my complete progress. I will, Peter. Thank you very much for the permission when I've created it. So, Pete, I said that to Pete the other day, and Pete, I'm gonna do yours because Pete's will be really interesting, and I'll tell you why Pete's will be really interesting, because Pete has had some big peaks and troughs, right? Me and Pete, again, have worked together a long time. He's an OG. He's been with me a good few years. Pete started on plan with me end of March 2022. So we've worked together have we worked together over 3 years? March 23, 24, 25. Me and Pete worked together over 3 years. Faye, is he ahead of you in the pecking order? Faye, I'm sorry, Pete is ahead of you in the pecking order. Me and Pete have had our 3-year anniversary, boss anniversary, as Faye said. I love that. We're 3.5 years in, me and Pete, right? And Pete has done 61 check-ins, right? So Faye's done 76 and she's not quite 3 years. And it's just because Pete's had a couple of occasions where he's gone a little bit AWOL. He's had a couple of occasions where, things just haven't gone quite right. When Pete first came on board, Pete he crash dieted a little bit. And there was a little bit, I think, of miscommunication from where his calories should have been, how he was looking at his calories. And Pete lost, like, in the first 10 to 50, first 10 check-ins, Pete lost 54 pounds, right? So in 20 weeks, really, really went at it. 4 stone gone in half a year, right? After that, Pete then started to regress. He started to going back, crash dieting, regressing backwards, right? And then Pete went AWOL for a little bit, and then he started back 2023. Right, so he went AWOL for a couple of months, but he came back after Christmas and he put all his weight back on. So his 54 pounds he lost, he put it all back on. He was then a little bit up and down and inconsistent with check-ins. And he actually ended up, and again, this would be great. I'm going to create Pete's sheet. I might do it today, actually. He actually ended up at the end, mid-May 2023. So a year into our journey together, 40 months, 19 pounds heavier, nearly 1.5 stone heavier than when we started working together, right? And then Pete actually peaked in November 2023 at 23 pounds heavier, nearly 2 stone heavier than when we started together. All right. Again, a little bit of inconsistency. Pete then had a couple of health issues that he needed to get sorted out. And then towards the end of last year, Pete really started to kick back in. And then 2025 has been Pete's year because he was, at the end of November, he was the same weight at the end of November 2024, right, as he was when we started in March 23, right? And now Pete is 46 pounds down. So he's lost in 9 months what he lost last time in 6 months. and he's doing great, and he's losing weight in a more healthy, sustainable fashion. And we are literally, I said this to him the other day, we are literally 8 pounds away from the lowest he's ever been on plan, which was 3 years ago. You know, which was 3 years ago. So, but over the years that me and Peter have worked together, his mentality and approach to weight loss has changed massively. And I feel like, a bit like with Faye actually, where things weren't quite as smooth at the start, I feel like things have really clicked, Pete, and you're on it. And I think you're going to smash it now. You know. But, you know, weight loss isn't plain sailing. It isn't a plain sailing journey. A lot of people think it has, you know. Do you have some people get to maintenance and just never leave? Yeah, I've got about 5. Probably got about 5 or 6 of you guys. So I get people that get to maintenance and leave. I get people that get to maintenance and again, I get people that get to maintenance and never leave, but don't check in like every 2 weeks. I might hear from them every couple of months, right? But they're still on plan. They're still, you know, and they know I'm always there. And for what I charge, certainly some of my earlier clients, because you never pay any more, right? If you come on plan with me, whatever you pay today, you will never pay any more. Right, so Pete is an old school client. Pete pays 20 quid a month, right? That was what I charged for a monthly subscription when I started one-to-one weight loss coaching. Pete's been with me now 3.5 years. He still pays £20 a month, right, for the coaching. If Pete's with me for another 3.5 years, he'll pay £20 a month, right? I then increase my prices to $24.99 a month. I then increase my prices to $29.99 a month, which is where they are now. You sign up to plan now at $29.99 per month, right? If you're still working with me in 3 years' time, you'll never pay any more, even though by that time I'll probably be charging $34.99 a month or $39.99 a month. I don't know, right? But you will never, ever, ever pay any more than what you pay as long as you keep your subscription going. And I think a lot of clients are literally like, it's 20 quid a month, it's 25 quid a month, it's £30 a month, right? There's no point cancelling it because I know I've always got the support there if and when I need it, right? And I appreciate that. I massively appreciate that. So, yeah. I know I'll stay for at least a long while after maintenance as I'm never regaining. And I think that's it, you know. What you're selling, I'm a one-to-one weight loss coach. So I do I sell my services as a coach. So if you want to work with me as a one-to-one weight loss coach, get into the link tree, sign up to my one-to-one plan. All right, that is what I do. Chris, who's just signed up, can you boost your testosterone levels? Yes, you can. All right, you can boost your testosterone levels. Can you boost them short term, where it's kind of like your testosterone will increase a little bit, and then if you stop doing what you're doing, it will go back down? Yes and no. It's a bit of a grey area. A lot of people will promote foods that increase testosterone levels, right? Like sweet potato is one, all right, because of certain vitamins and minerals in there that support hormone function, right? How much increased testosterone? So, you know, it's like fat burning pills, right? They're allowed to label them as fat burning pills because a fat burning pill is just a stimulant, right, that raises your heart rate. The faster your heart rate beats, the more calories you burn, right, while your heart rate's elevated. So if I have a can of Monster and I have 160 grams of caffeine, that's a stimulant. Certainly for a couple of hours after having that, my heart rate will be slightly elevated, which means I would burn more calories than if caffeine isn't in my system. The more calories you burn, if you eat the same amount of food, then you're going to burn more fat, right? Now, fat burning and fat loss are two totally different things, right? So they're allowed to label, but how much does caffeine increase your heart rate, which in knock-on effect increases the amount of fat you burn? So just because you increase your fat burning does not mean you're going to be losing body fat, by the way. That's why all these fat burning exercises that people promote for weight loss are just a load of garbage, right? So just because you increase fat burning doesn't mean fat loss. But if I take a supplement that means I burn 0.1% more fat than if it's still a fat burner. It's still doing more. So this is where the grey area is. So although certain foods might promote hormone function, which in turn could support testosterone, right? Then but how much? That's the thing. Is it enough to increase libido? No. Is it enough to increase muscle building? No. Is it enough to increase energy levels? Probably not, right? Now, eating sweet potato might increase energy levels because it's a good carb. It's got a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. It might make you feel better, but in terms of boosting testosterone enough to, probably not, right? What are any proven ways? So there are foods that will, but again, it's how effective are they? Like, how much is it going to increase them to do what we maybe want to do? There is actually only one way we can increase testosterone levels that will increase them, elevate them like not permanently, but will elevate them enough to hopefully give you some benefit. Technically, there's two, I suppose. One is a good sleep patterns, right? Getting consistent sleep, right? So resting your body is great for hormone imbalance. And someone that has very interrupted sleep, doesn't hit like a REM cycle for a few hours a night, a lot of stuff going on in their head, right? That will affect their testosterone levels, right? So it's not about boosting. It's like, how can we optimize our test levels in our body? And another one's building muscle, lifting weights. Lifting weights and building muscle, in turn, will increase testosterone levels within the body, right? Effectively, more energy, more libido. Yeah, absolutely. But again, if you've gone to the doctors and had a blood test and you've got a low, and your levels of testosterone are low, going to the gym and lifting, eating sweet potato, having a good night's sleep. No, you probably need to take TRT to do that. All right. So there are little things we can do just to support the human body, right? And doing those things, eating healthier, moving more, getting a good night's sleep, lifting weights, that won't just increase testosterone levels. That will increase your overall energy levels. It will massively boost the serotonin in your body. It will chill out your cortisol levels. It will help to regulate blood sugars, right? It will increase ATP production in your body, which is energy. It will just have a massive knock-on effect. But you've got to do it consistently, and you've got to do it in the right way. I had someone, a friend of Rachel's, I say a friend of Rachel's, someone she works with. Rachel was like, "Oh, can you just help such and such?" Yeah, of course. I'll always help a friend out. So she sent the details over. She's not coaching. I'm not coaching or anything like that. But I was, one good turn deserves another. And she's actually the reason Rachel got a job. So I was like, yeah, not a problem at all. So she sent the details over, give her all the bits and pieces. She messaged me, she emailed me on Friday. Like, I've worked out her calories for her. Sent her my guide to Boston weight loss. Sent it over to her, right? And then she's emailed me on Friday, on Sunday, and said, "Hi, Neil, I've been doing this a week now, and this is what I've been doing." Right? Nothing to what I said. 1,200 calories a day, right? Something else. And I was just like, right. And I'm always quite matter of fact with people, especially when it's like, you come to me for help and you've just literally not. And I'm like, and I literally said to her, and she can take it on the chin because she's very straightforward thinking anyway. And I was literally like, right, this is where you're going wrong. Like, and she wasn't messing with like, I've not lost any weight or anything like that. She was just actually asking about protein. But I went, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop trying to eat back your exercise calories. It doesn't say any of that in the information I've sent yet. And I'm like, would you ever get, and I was like, follow what I'm telling you, right? I coach healthy, sustainable fat loss, right? Eating the, crash dieting might see the way they started there. And I literally just put the end. Hope you don't think I was being too blunt. But, imagine someone coming to your company, you sitting there, dedicating your time, giving them advice on what they should be doing to improve their business, right? In terms of social media, because that's what they do. And then in a month's time, you have a meeting again with them and they literally come back and they've done nothing that you think, right? Like, how frustrating is that, right? And they might be like, yeah, but I've got good results over a month. And you might be like, great, you've got good results over a month. Do you want to build your business up for the next 10 years, or do you just want to have one good month and then it all collapse? Right? And you're just like, no, appreciate that. I'll start doing what you do. You know, so sometimes you've got to be a little bit like that. But yeah, testosterone levels, you know, I would never, if you're a male and you want to increase your kind of just how you feel, like just eating healthier, like Chris, you coming on plan with me, but just eating healthier, having a good level of movement, training, all this, it'll just have a knock-on effect with all, because testosterone is just a hormone in the body, right? Like we have lots of different hormones in the body. Like say serotonin is your happy hormone, cortisol is your miserable hormone. If you live the right lifestyle and consistently, that will support all your good hormone function. Right? It will improve the lot. Yeah, does that make sense? Morning, Neil. Any help with a portion of dry rice? Is it the same as pasta calorie-wise? I don't actually know. I don't think it's far off. Carbs are 4 calories a gram, and I don't think it's far off. Just use Nucheck, and you might be like, Neil, you're the calorie guru. How do you not know what dry? I don't eat it. Every time I eat rice, I buy packet rice, and packet rice is more calorific than cooking your own rice. Right? It is. Why? Because they put oil in it, right, to supple it up. Right? So, white rice. I think it is, from memory. I used to eat a lot of rice. I used to cook myself. Basmati, long grain white rice dried. 100 grams, 355, bang on. It's exactly the same as pasta. Pretty much bang on the same as pasta. So, 125 grams of microwave rice, right, is about 125 grams of microwave rice is around about between 170 and 200 calories. And that would equate to, actually, it's not a million miles different. I was going to say that would equate to probably, in terms of rice, because rice soaks up a lot of water, probably about 45 grams dry. So it's not a million miles different. It's actually, your microwave rice isn't a million miles different. There's only a smidge of oil in there. Hey, I took a few weeks off calories and put on 6 pounds. I've been in a deficit again for 2 weeks and not lost one single pound. I mean, it's one of them. Are you in a calorie deficit? Right, that's first question. And you know, you took a few weeks off. You put on 6 pounds. You won't put on 6 pounds of body fat. You'll put on 6 pounds of water weight, food weight, water retention. Nina, you've either you've not got back into things and you think you have, right? Dead simple. Dead simple. So you've either not got into a calorie deficit and you think you have, or you've just caught the scales at the wrong time. That would be my honest answer. There's not a lot more I can say. If you're consistently in a calorie deficit, you consistently lose weight. So if you've been in a calorie deficit for 2 weeks and you've not lost anything, something's going wrong somewhere, right? You just need to find out what. Well, that's why I've come to you, Neil. Well, I can't really eat. It's a tough one. You know, it's a tough one because it's a tough one because you give me a very small bit of information, you know, but you know, nothing stops us losing weight. Yeah, I used to have 1540, lost 2.5 stone on that, and been doing the same again. Right. So basically, Nina, you've been crash dieting, eating 1,540 calories a day, right? You took a few weeks off because you've hit your weight loss brick wall, and now you're trying to consistently get back into eating a crash dieting amount of calories, and you just can't do it, right? You're just being inconsistent. You might think you're being consistent, you're not being consistent, right? Also, you might have weighed yourself on a Friday, and then you've weighed yourself on a Monday for your current result. Is your current result weighed on the same day at the same time? You know, is there those consistencies? Yeah, but something's going wrong somewhere. If you need help, get signed up to Plan. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram. Find my link tree. Click on my link tree. Come get on plan. It is literally 15 quid at the moment to sign up to my monthly one-to-one plan. And we'll get to the bottom of your issues and get your weight loss journey kicked back in. Hi, I'm on MJ, but I'm coming off. I've been calorie counting all through, but don't want to put weight back on. You don't want to put weight back on. You simply need to consistently stick to a calorie maintenance. Or if you want to carry on losing weight coming off MJ, you need to stick to a calorie deficit. When you come off Mounjaro, there is a very good chance you are going to need to eat more calories than you have been doing. I work with a lot of Mounjaro clients. And although Mounjaro should be just helping you stick to your healthy, sustainable calorie allowance, it is a very common trend that people that are on Mounjaro are over-suppressed and are eating lower than they should be. So when you come off Mounjaro, you're going to start eating more. When you start eating more, the scales are going to go up. Right, the scales are going to go up because you are going to have more. You're going to increase your average food weight, your average water weight. They won't consistently go up, but certainly for the first 1 or 2 weigh-ins, depending on how often you're weighing. So this will happen. Let's say you are on Mounjaro and you are eating 1,600 calories per day on average with the help of the medication. You have decided to come off Mounjaro, right? And you are going to go from 1,600 calories a day to 2,000 calories a day. That is still going to put you in a calorie deficit. That will still create fat loss in the body. But eating an extra 2,000 calories a week is going to increase the volume of food you are eating. It will increase a bit of water retention in the body. So you might weigh 154 pounds, 11 stone, right? And you burn 2,500 calories a day, right? Because you do a good level of movement. You've been eating 1,600 a day, which has put you in a 900 calorie a day deficit on average. And now you're going to go up to 2,000 calories. This is what will happen. You might come off Mounjaro. Now, Mounjaro stays in your system for a little bit, and we could probably gradually ease you into more calories, right? But you're eating 2,000 calories. You're going to go up to 2,000 calories. Let's say you weigh in on the Friday. You're not taking another jab. You go from eating 1,600 to 2,000 and you're 154. When you next weigh in 2 weeks, there's a very good chance you'll be 158, 159. And this is where people go, oh my God, I've gained weight. I've come off Mounjaro and I've gained weight. Yes, you've gained weight. You've not gained fat. And this is why you have to understand the difference between fat gain and weight gain. I have literally, over the next 6 weeks, I am going to be coaching 7 clients now that are going to be coming off Mounjaro. 7. And I think that's going to increase, right? And that is a knock-on effect of the price increases. It's a knock-on effect of clients that have either been, I've got 4 clients that are coming off and I've had 3 clients that have signed up that want to come off and want my guidance to help them come off Mounjaro and they want to get into a healthy, sustainable way of eating. So my knowledge, I have not coached anyone off Mounjaro yet. I've coached a lot of people on it. I've coached people that have started it. I have not coached anyone where we phased them out of using MJ back into just using willpower and determination and self-motivation to do this journey. That is all going to change. So I'm going to be very, very experienced in it. I've got a plan. I know exactly what I'm going to do with these clients. I know exactly, it's not just about approach. It's also going to be about mindset. It's going to be about people keeping positive because they are going to see some increases on the scales. I just realised it's 20 to 10. I've got to go. I've got a flipping live in half an hour and I definitely need some breakfast this morning. So if you want help coming off Mounjaro, get in touch, right? It's like I say, I am going to be, and I will hold my hands up, I am going to be a little bit shooting in the dark because I've never done it. And in 2 months' time, I'm going to be very experienced in it. But I'm a very experienced weight loss coach. And in all honesty, I've got a plan for it. And it's just the same as people coming from deficit to maintenance calories. It is just the same. It's just getting people. Now, don't get me wrong. What is going to be different is then getting people to consistently stick to a calorie deficit without an outside aid, like an unnatural tool. So I'm going to have to really start working on people to get their natural tools into place to help suppress appetite. But it's more about the mentality of keeping people positive while they see changes. Because that's what people do. They go from calorie deficit to calorie maintenance. Oh, God, I've gained weight. Yeah, you've gained weight. You've not gained fat. Right? You need to understand that. You need to trust the system. You might go from 154 to 158, right? Your average food weight will settle. Now you've increased your volume, right? And then we'll get back to the losses. So it might just put a little up and down on your progress sheet, but we'll get there, What macro would you suggest for a male who trains 5 days out of 7, currently trying to reduce body fat? What do you mean, what macro? I'd just recommend you want to reduce your body fat from 25%. You just need to get into a calorie deficit and lose body fat. That's it. I recommend a high protein diet and a high fiber diet to help suppress appetite, to help you stick. I don't work with macros. They're irrelevant for weight loss, right? They might become beneficial if your sole goal is to change body composition. And you might go, well, fat loss is changing body composition. Yeah, it is, but there's a little bit of a crossover, right? I'm a weight loss coach. You want to lose body fat, work with me. If you want to lose body fat and change how you look in a mirror, I'll show you the basics, right? Once so many people run before they can walk, right? If you've got 25% body fat, your goal's weight loss, right? If you want to lift weights in the gym and gain some muscle while you lose weight, not a problem at all, right? But your main goal is weight loss. So you only need to concentrate on one number, and that is calories, right? High protein diet, following my guidance, will be enough protein going into your system to build muscle. If you get to a point where you're 18% body fat and you want to get a bit leaner, but then you really want to start building muscle, changing body composition massively, becoming an absolute hench, right? That's when you might go on to something different, right? Things might need to be a little bit more specific. Yeah, but at the moment, David, you just need to lose some body fat, and that means sticking to a calorie deficit consistently and probably, and doing it over time. You already trained 5 days out of 7, that's great. If you want to eat a specific amount of protein, eat a specific amount of protein, but don't feel like you need to. Don't think it's going to be any more beneficial. I will never make things more complicated than they need to be. Yeah, some coaches want to do that. You're right, Neil. I did have weight loss fatigue. I feel so renewed since getting back. Brilliant. So Paul's been struggling a little bit over the last few weeks. A little bit of consistency. She still has to be losing, but just mentally, I think, struggling more than anything. And I sort of said to Paul, I said, you need a little bit of a weight loss break, which we're going to talk about in today's Weight Loss Coaching Live. So you need a little bit of a weight loss break. I think, and Paul's like, yeah, I know, but she's going away to Rome in a few weeks, and that's going to be my next weight loss break. Sounds like Paul has kind of had a bit of a weight loss break this weekend, and she's come back and she feels refreshed and revigorated. Is that the word? I don't know. I'm ready to get back at things. And that's, again, some of the importance of having a weight loss break. We'll be covering that in half an hour. I have got to go. I made the weight loss break for 15 on purpose. Hi, Neil. I'm already in the group, so would it be an extra £20 to join the one-to-one? Yeah, it would, Angela. So if you are currently in my community, which is £9.99 a month, it's £5 for your first month, then £9.99 a month. And you want to come on the one-to-one plan, basically, it's 15 quid to sign up, right? I'll always give you in the community a discount on sign up anyway, right? So if you want to just message me and I'll sort it out. But at the moment, you wouldn't get a bigger discount than 15 quid. So it's 15 quid to sign up, Angela. So all you need to do, Angela, if you want to do it, is just go into my website, click on the one-to-one monthly plan, and sign up to that. And then I'll sort your subscription out on the in terms of your community subscription, and then we can just swap it all over into the one-to-one plan. So instead of it being £9.99 a month, it'll be £29.99 a month. Yeah. There we go. We're all good. Right, I've got to go. Guys, if you want to get on plan, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, click on my link tree. The first tab on my link tree is an inquiry form. So if you want to touch base with me, say, hey, Neil, see you on TikTok, see you on Facebook, see you on YouTube. Can you send me details? I'll send you the details. But if you've watched me for ages, like a lot of people do, been following you for 12 months, now's the time for me to commit and make some progress. We've got 3 months till Christmas. I really want to get at it. We're not losing weight for Christmas, right? Weight loss is for life, not just for Christmas, right? But, we do need some focus points, and Christmas is a great focus point. Going into Christmas, over a stone lighter, more energy, feeling more confident, going to that works do with a dress on you've hated for 6 months. It means a lot. And we've always got to have little focus points. So that will be next big focus point for everybody, because Christmas is a period of overindulgence. It's a period where we should be able to let our hair down for a week and enjoy it, right? And not have any guilt, not have any panic attacks. Oh my God, it's Christmas. What am I going to do? I'm going to ruin my journey. No, you're not. I'll teach you how to do it all. All right. Get involved. Guys, I'm out of here. On Planning the Community, I'll see you in about half an hour for today's Weight Loss Coaching Live, talking about weight loss breaks. I will next be on a TikTok, Facebook, YouTube live 9:30 Thursday morning. If I can jump on before then, maybe tomorrow afternoon for half an hour, 45 minutes, or even later on. It won't be later on today, actually, no, because I've got spin tonight, haven't I? If I can jump on a live at any point, spare half hour, I will do. If you're on Planning in the Community, I'll always broadcast that out, or put it in the WhatsApp community. But next scheduled live is I'm going to do 8:30, 9:30, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Thursday morning. 4:15 Thursday evening, just TikToks, and we'll be in the car picking Rachel up from work. And then 8:30 Friday morning. And then that is me for nearly a week. I will be back a week on Thursday, right? A week on Thursday with a live. But yeah, there we go. That's it for the rest of the week. Right, have a great Tuesday. If you're not on Planning in the Community, it's probably going to be Thursday. Might be before then, but I'll definitely see you Thursday morning. If you are on Planning in the Community and you're free, I'll see you in about half an hour. TikTok, I'll sign off to you first. And then Facebook, YouTube. I am